Twitch going, so we have the recording going. So this is what we're doing here. We opened red, about $45. The lowest we've gone is about $50. I have a short ready to go if we pop back to 1100 here. Again, trading NQZ2022, not changing anything there. Our ADR is really close together right now, just for the simple fact that it just opened. So you see this big red line right here. That's supposed to be your 50%, blah, blah, blah. But we're not paying attention to that right now. We're just looking at this lower and we're looking at this upper, okay? And then what we're doing here is I'm about to go right here, find my anchored VWAP, and this is the opening candle. I am on the wrong time frame. I'm on the 15-minute because I was looking at QQQ earlier. So now this looks a little bit better. 1 minute. I have my sell order right here in case we start popping up and maybe we touch back on VWAP. That's kind of where I'd like to enter. Okay. So it looks like we are popping back up here. I might get my entry. We might even gap fill back to here, and that's kind of going to be where I average down in this area. Now, how would I draw my fibs? I would do this. I still think we're going down, so what I would do is I would use this as a high, this as a low, and now I kind of have some goals in mind as well. Okay, I could also use, if I wanted to have a longer, I could use this as a high, I could use this as a high, I could use this as a high. It doesn't really matter. We'll use this because this was dropped in a super golden zone straight down, so that was a good area right there to use. All right, so I did get my entry, and now what we're looking for is about $50, maybe $100. And we'll be out. So we're looking for about a $5 move downwards. Okay. And again, if it continues to go up, we'll average down around here. Probably average down maybe here and then there again. So every like $15 we're going to average down. If that happens, so I'll go ahead and I'll put that there just in case I get the opportunity to get it. Okay. So let's just keep watching, keep making sure that nothing is popping up in terms of harmonics patterns. We're probably just gap filling right now, which usually after the gap fill, then you get back down to where you were before. So I'm not really too worried about it. I'll just be given a couple opportunities to average down. So let me go ahead and do another order here in case I get that ability to average down. And there you go. And I'm just kind of watching. What broker can you trade futures? You can trade futures on basically any legitimate broker, but what I recommend doing is get TradingView, paper trade it for a little while. Once you paper trade it, you can get the feel for how it's going to do things a lot more likely than normal. And then you can do what's called a funded futures account, which I use TopStep. There's something called Apex, but TopStep connects directly to what's the word I'm looking for? To TradingView, where you already be practicing. So if you're already practicing there, then you'll be a lot happier. So we're starting to drop back out off of that pop up here where I said I would average down again. Almost went green, so I should go green here shortly. But Top Step, the reason I recommend using like a funded futures account like Top Step is because you can pay a subscription fee, and basically you have way less risk. Like, it's not your money, you're not stressed about it, and you still get the benefits of making a lot of money, right? So like, instead of making 100%, you make 90% and they take 10%. But if I make $1,000 and someone takes $100, but the risk is 99% less than me doing it on my own, then I'm pretty happy with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be pretty stoked. So I'm not really tripping. It works out for me and how I think about things. So. And boom. So first play today, just to show you. This is today, right? The second. Boom, $300. I could literally be done right now. First play of the day, done. You know what I mean? Like, this is. I know what it's gonna do because I've played it so many times that I know what I should have done realistically is when I saw it start turning up, I should have played it up and then I should have turned my play around here. But I trust the drop so much that, I don't know how, if we're really going to go back up to this open area, we could have started dropping back down here. So the better high probability play, in my opinion, is to continue to pick up shorts because the direction was already shown to you, right? So even if we start popping up here, more than likely, even if we get into this zone where we dropped initially, we're gonna fall pretty tough. So there's nothing really driving us up in terms of news or anything like that. Like, the market has no real reason to turn up. So just seeing more drop just makes sense, right? It just makes sense. Now I'll be watching for a little bit just to make sure, because we did have the drop from there to there, which was exactly where I exited, right? It's exactly where I took my exit and secured $300. So that's how I do it. I drew my fibs, right, from a high and a low, and I use those fibs as entries and exit points. So since I decided that my bias was going downwards, I have to use the fib lines going downwards, not going up, going down. So every time a rejection or a cross down below a line occurs, that's where I enter, and then the next line is where I exit. So if I happen to enter something here and I still believe my bias to be true, I can just kind of average down at each line and know that then, as long as my average is somewhere in this area, I can exit here for a win. And that's basically what I just did now. Okay. Now my bias is still going down. So basically what I'll be looking for is I'm looking for a cross below here, and then maybe I'll enter another short, right? And then continue, and basically what I would then use as my exit, because this area is so large, is I might use basically this area here where we bounced up previously a little bit ago as my exit. Or I may even use the VWAP as my exit and then wait for the cross below that and then re-enter again, right? Because this yellow line is my VWAP. Exit again and then enter again off the cross, and then exit at this line, and then wait for a cross below that, then re-enter, and then exit somewhere over here, or even just accept a dollar amount that I like, right? Sorry about my son in the background. He's 2, so as the saying goes, terrible 2s, it's not too much I could do about that one. But yeah, sorry about that in advance, guys. Oh, let me check Twitch. I don't know how many people are on Twitch right now. Okay, so I only have 3 viewers on Twitch. If y'all have any questions, please don't forget to ask. If I don't necessarily answer right away, I apologize. I have to toggle back and forth to make sure. If anyone has questions on TikTok as well, please ask. Again, the way to be successful trading futures is to be patient, right? It isn't about taking every single thing you think is about to happen. It's about taking what your strategy is telling you. And as you can see, after I made $300, I'm waiting for a confirmation for something. And this looks like I might get a confirmation for a short here soon. So let me go ahead and change that to 1 and maybe do like, yeah, I'll do 1 there. Just kind of getting 1 in case we pop up a little bit and then we cross below that fib line again. And that's kind of what I'm looking at. I appreciate y'all sending likes and following. I appreciate you. If y'all have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And if this, to reiterate, right, if this stops respecting my fib lines, which obviously it's still respecting, right, because it's crossing below, for now at least. But if it stops respecting and it keeps going up and it doesn't respect this golden zone and it crosses out, then I know that I drew these in the wrong direction, and what I have to do is redraw them, and that's it. So sometimes it's all about being patient and taking what the strategy is telling you. So for me, this looks like tweezer tops crossing a fib line that we should reject. So I'm being a little riskier here and taking this entry because we also have this open week that we have to basically reject here. So there's a couple confirmations that we should reject back down, and that's why I have this short here, but it looks like it doesn't want to quite hit it, so we'll see. I might need to pump it up to around, yeah, see, now we have targets going down. Okay, so I'm actually just going to enter immediately. I'm going to enter immediately. Okay, so this is a good one. A Gartley pattern just popped up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have my exit somewhere around here. The first target is actually right here already. Okay, so it's like an entry and a quick pop as the first. I didn't quite get that first one, so what I can do is I can hold it to the second one, or just before the second one basically, which is right at my fib line, which actually is proving me that my fib lines are drawn pretty accurately and I should be okay. And if it doesn't respect this, what I'll do is I'll average down here in this zone right here, because this is still a good area for it to turn around. Let's see, we're at, it's moving up real quick. Let's see. I will indeed take another short there, if I can get it. That actually looks beautiful. And so it looks like we are trying to fill this gap here, but the stop for it is somewhere way up here. So I'm okay. I'm okay with averaging down. I'm happy with it. I'll take it. I've been down several hundred or even sometimes several $1,000s and averaged down and been good. So this might be one of those ones where I'm down a few, maybe even upwards of $1,000 before it turns around. The last play actually ended up, I have live accounts. I already made my money in my live accounts for the week, for a couple weeks. So I'm just, whenever I come on here, I do paper trading so that I can answer your questions without having to worry about the money. But I've shown y'all in my videos that I've made the $1,000 a day easily every time that I trade on my live trading accounts as well. So it just helps me focus on you guys a little bit better. That's all. Because if I was trading with my money, I might not notice like the questions that you ask or something like that. And I just want to give you guys the attention. That's what these lives are for, you guys, not for me to make money. It's to show you that I know what I'm doing, first of all, right? And then to show you that you can ask your questions, and I'm not going to be super focused on all of this going on. I can then go check out QQQ, for example, if you ask a question about QQQ, and go in and see what's going on there, right? So I'm not worried about this, even though it's starting to do what I need it to do. I'm not worried about it. If it was to go here and then reverse or something like that, that doesn't bother me, right? So, but yeah, next week, or I guess this week, I'll probably do a couple lives where I'm actually on my live trading account. So we'll see how those go. I just don't want to mix like my money with like teaching you guys, because I don't want to get involved with the money making and not teaching, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and take that. Okay, so that was another $95. So now we've made $400, right? This is what we've done so far today. And that's just by using this, right? Like I could have held it to the second target and I could have made probably $200. Doesn't matter. So now, in case we pop up again, I'll just keep that there, right? And we've only been trading for 20 minutes, guys. I mean, what job do you know that you can make $400 in 20 minutes? I don't even think lawyers make that much, or doctors. Just a thought. Just a thought. Do I recommend this future trading more than the older strategies? Anchored VWAP. This is using the same stuff. This just has an extra layer or two on top. So the anchored VWAP is right here, right? It coincided with this target and this fib line. So it's a perfect exit. I have my 9 and 21 EMAs, right? So they're still signaling downwards movement. They got a little tight here, but they're not touching or anything like that. So they're still signaling downwards movement for now, at least. Let's see, where's the 200 at? The 200's way up here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So not too much gravity trying to pull us up because we're so far away from it. We have a ways to go still. So this will kind of just keep dragging below, and then eventually we'll start hitting a low, and it'll be kind of like that thing that catapults us up, okay? And we have our upper ADR way up here, which is actually above our 200 EMA. So if we did start moving up, we'd have a ways to go. But as you can see, we're struggling. We're still going down. So I think I'm going to actually put an entry at 25 in case I can get it, right? And let's just go ahead and look at, just to show y'all something so you can see what I mean by we still have a long ways to go down. We are actually at a pivotal point in QQQ, which is a derivative of NQ. So this is pretty good to look at. I'm gonna turn this sideways, so you might have to turn your phone sideways, guys. But this is just so you can see the whole screen. So look, we've been in this channel since October. This is actually my birthday of last year, okay? Which we're pulling in heavy. It'll be a whole year now. We've been in this channel, drawing up and down, up and down. We hit this boom, up, down, up, down, up, down. And we popped just over and rejected because that 200 EMA was also there, right? And now we have a ways to go down. This right here would be a good area of interest if we were going to pop up at all for maybe like a brief relief before we continue down. But futures today are proving to us that we're probably going to just continue down. So now what we're looking at is something close to around 235 or 230, which is the pre-pandemic highs. Oh, Jesus. Which are pre-pandemic highs. So that's probably what we're looking for. That's probably what we're looking for. And sorry for my son in the background, guys. He's acting a fool right now. He's probably going to get an ass whooping. But yeah, so that's what we're looking for right now. And a lot of people are agreeing with what I'm telling you, by the way. So just be aware of that. That's what we're looking at, and that's what we're kind of being ready, at least what I'm being ready for. Okay, hold on. Any specific reason why using 9 and 21 EMA instead of 5 and 20? Honestly, no other reason, and that's the first strategy that I I very first learned, and all I've done is build on top of it. So what I do is I use the 9 and the 21, and basically the way I use them is when the 9 crosses below the 21, so my 9 is my pink, 21 is my white. When it crosses below, it signals puts. When it crosses above, it signals calls. And that's how I use it. That's how I've always used it, or it signals shorting or calling or whatever, right? But that's how I've used it, and I've just basically grown my strategy from on top of that. And I use the 200 EMA as like an extreme bounce or breakthrough zone. And that's how I sound when I see my portfolio. It's funny. But yeah, so basically I started off with those, and then I added this anchored VWAP, and then what I added was this right here, which is called the Ttm Squeeze Indicator, and basically this just shows you pressure. So whenever you see red or gold, there's pressure, a lot of pressure building, and then black means it's starting to release a little bit, and then green means it's basically released, right? So what this showed you here was pressure, 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 releasing downwards, slight pressure going back up, and then release downwards again. And a lot of times whenever you get a big move down or a big move up, it then is followed by the exact opposite. So you can see that here, boom, here, boom, but then we rejected back because of the golden zone. I ended up just picking up another short here. I shouldn't have, probably. I should have waited till we broke down below here. That was kind of dumb of me, but that's okay. I'll use this as a low again. Let's see, 5. And if it continues up, I'll just average down. Which is also fine. The real key about trading futures, to be honest with you, especially if you get something at the wrong time or the wrong direction, is knowing when to average down, or just simply let it go for a loss, because you screwed yourself, right? There's just simply that's what takes time, and that's why I recommend paper trading for a little while, because if you get this strategy and you start paper trading with it, and you learn it basically layer by layer, right? You learn the EMAs, you learn the VWAP, you learn the TTM squeeze, you learn the ADR versus DTR, then you add in your harmonics patterns, and then you add in the fibs, and you learn it layer by layer, and you just do it layer by layer. You can be a lot more successful. And if you learn it paper trading, well, obviously you're not wasting your money while you're learning, so it's more beneficial to you as a trader. And like right now, I might have started a short at the wrong time, because realistically, on a short time frame, this is a double bottom, right? So I may have hooked myself, but you know, sometimes you do that, and sometimes you just got to trust what you got, and I'm gonna trust what I got. So. And so far, it's not down bad. It's down like $100. So I'm all right with it. Hold on, just adjusting. It's starting to break back down again. Hopefully, I can get my exit. And if I can make $500 each session, so the way I like to do it is I like to make about $500 in the evening when I trade, and about $500 in the daytime, so like when everyone else is trading, right? And as you can see, I might just cut this right here. If I can see $50 again, I might just, yeah, okay, so I just, get that out of here. Okay, so now what we got is, let's go ahead and take a peek, y'all. So we have 300 and $5.95, that makes $460. So realistically, all I'm looking for now is about 40 more bucks. If I can make $500 in the morning, then you will see $1,000 for the day for basically the trading session. And what am I trading? I am trading NQ. This is the current contract that NQ is, which is NQZ2022. That's basically for the winter quarter, right? The last fourth quarter. It'll change over to something else come the first of next quarter. And you can trade MNQ as well. MNQ basically is also less riskier than NQ, and the reason, the way that it works, if you want to try and understand it a little bit, is boom. Okay, so now I made an extra $60 and I'd be done trading for the night. And that's 36 minutes that I've been trading and I'm done. So MNQ, what I was trying to say, let's say I would make or lose $500 in NQ. I'd only make or lose $50 in MNQ. So it's like significantly left. It's a tenth, right? How much margin or risking to make 500? So that's the cool thing here, is I'm trading off of a funded futures account. So a funded futures account is basically me. What I've done is, and I'll show you how it works, because I use Top Step and I have 3 different funded accounts. And this was my 3rd one that I just recently got funded. I will get it fully funded tomorrow, actually. So basically what happens is you have to go through 2 steps. I am on the 100,000 account, or I was on the 100,000 account, of making $6,000 twice, okay? You have to make $6,000 twice. And the first time, it doesn't matter how fast you make it, you just gotta make $6,000, and you have to trade 5 days, at least 5 days, that's it. The second time, you can only make your best day below 40%, and you still have to make 6,000, okay? So usually what that means is you can make it in like 3 or 4 days if you make like a 2,000. So like for me, this is as close as I could get without going over. It's 2,400. And one day I actually ended up going down and almost blowing up my account, but I didn't, and I made it all back, and it was good. So basically what you do is you pay a subscription fee, you make this, and then they give you an account with $100,000 in it. And then you follow basically these same rules, that are over here for this second account, except for this 40% rule thing, and you can make as much as you want in one day. You just can't lose more than $2,000 in one day, and you can't go below $100,000. Okay, or it's like $98,000 or something like that. And everything that you make over a 5-day period, every 5 days, you get to send yourself 50% of that, and you keep 90% of it, and they keep 10% of it. So the risk is extremely less. You're not really spending, like, you're only spending that monthly subscription fee to play, and then during when you make your money, you get 90% of it. So it's for me, that's a better deal. Like, you could obviously, you know, have a $10,000 account, and you could be, you know, making a few $1,000s a day with your own money, but you'd be paying all these crazy commissions, and you know, you need to make every trade worth it. Like, you would have to be making at least $100 probably per trade to make it worth it, because of that. So for me, this just makes more sense, and I still get the benefits of it being futures trading, where 60% of it gets taxed as long-term, which means I don't get taxed on 60% of my winnings. I only get taxed on 40%. So if I make $1,000, I'm only getting taxed on $400 of that. And then, so what I like to do, and this is maybe a little extra advanced technique for you guys in terms of wealth building, is you take that 60% and or that 40% that you've already been taxed on, you put the 40% in a 401k, and now it's or that 60% in a 401k, whichever one you prefer, it doesn't matter. Put it in a 401k, let it build money for you, and then whenever you're ready to buy a house or whatever you borrow from your 401k, you take a loan from yourself. As a bank, you take a loan from yourself, you pay yourself back 6% interest into your own 401k, and you buy whatever it is that you got, that you wanted. And that's how you become your own bank. And then you can open up like an IUL, which is a life insurance, which does this basically the exact same thing, but also if you happen to pass away, you also have life insurance that gets passed on to your beneficiaries and stuff like that. So there's all these different things that you can do to build wealth, and futures, playing futures in terms of day trading. If you're a day trader, futures is how you keep the majority of your wealth. If you're going to day trade options contracts, just understand you're paying capital gains on 100% of what you make, right? If you're going to day trade stocks, you're going to pay 100% on what you're doing that stuff on, right? The only way that you don't pay taxes on stocks is if you hold it for more than a year, right? Basically, if you understand the little tax nuances on how to day trade, you can take advantage of that. So if you find a strategy, right, a strategy that works for options trading and stocks will work for futures, because almost 90% of, at least if you're playing QQQ, if you're playing SPY, if you're playing IWM, for example, and stuff like that, they're derived off of these types of futures. So I play, because all I did when I played options, and I made a lot of money playing options, and then I learned the hard way about the taxes, and that's why I've switched over to futures. But I made a lot of money playing options contracts on QQQ, and so I flipped over to playing futures, and I haven't looked back. I've been making, easily on the low end around $5,000 to $6,000 a week trading futures on each account, mind you. So now that I have 3, that's actually more like 15 to 20 something, like 18,000, right, a week on the low end, and then on the high end, I just made last week 12,500 on each. So, and then I get to send myself half of that every week, right? So that's why I like doing the funded futures account. You don't have to do a funded futures account. You can do it with your own money, but understand that with futures, this is why I say you need to practice first. You need to paper trade. You need to do what you're doing. You need to understand what you're doing. Is you can actually end up owing money. Like if you only have, just for an example, like I said earlier, say you have $10,000 and you end up you can go below $10,000 and owe your brokerage money. You can't do that with a funded futures account. You just get told, hey, fuck off. You got to pay a reset fee. Then you have to do your. So what I do is I use. There's two of them that I would recommend. Okay. If you want to use TradingView so that you can use all these same indicators, etc., that I use, you want to use topstep.com. Okay. And what it does is it uses what's called Tradovate, which is this. Okay, Tradovate. It's basically a third party that uses Tradovate, which then connects to. So I'm just on my paper trading one so that I can show you guys how I do it. But Tradovate, right? So this is one of mine right here, the latest one that I've done, and I'm be fully funded tomorrow, so this will actually all change. But yeah, so you go on Tradovate and you log in with your credentials from TopStep, boom, and then you can do exactly what I've been showing you here, which is basically you see an entry or you see whatever, and you go trade, you right click, you press trade, and then you go to create new order. Oh, I'm not on here again. Let me get back on here. You go to create new order, and once you create new order, so let's say I'm going to do it here at 25, create new order, boom. I want to short it, so I do sell at limit, whatever my target is for it to pick up my sell order, and then I press enter. And then I'd be waiting for it to touch it, wherever I feel like it's going to turn around, which is, there's pressure here, a lot of pressure to go back down here. We've already turned down here a couple times, so I'm okay with it going slightly above and then turning down. So that's why my sell order is right there, right? And then I would just let it hit, and then it drops a couple dollars, a few dollars, gives me maybe $50, and then boom, I'm out. Ooh, okay. Just seeing your questions here on Twitch. Give me 1 second, bro. But how do you really know between average down versus just cut your losses? And capital conservation more important? So yes, it is important. The thing is if your strategy is telling you that we're going to continue down, right, and you see that it's still respecting your areas, that's how you know when to average down. Okay, what part did I say that you're upset about, Kimberly? Yeah, no, I'm not upset. I'm just, if I was confusing, I want to clear it up for you, because sometimes I'm autistic, so if I say something like that, my mind's moving a little odd, and I might not forget. I might forget what the words are or something like that, and I might not say it. So if I miss something, just tell me what part I missed, and I'll go back over it and I'll help you out. What is the contract price that you're trading? That's the thing with this Gonzo, is it's not, you're trading basically off of percentage of it. So like if this is 11,000, I think that the amount of margin you have to have, or the amount in your account that you have to have, is like 1,100. And then basically, like if you're doing it with your own account, that's how you do it. Let me make sure that this is still, okay, this is still good. You have to have at least that much in your account. But if you're doing it with a funded futures account, they take care of all of that, right? And the subscription fee for the 100,000 one, I think, is like $132. It's a little bit per month, but in terms of understanding that you don't have to stress, and everything is taken care of, and all you have to do is just make your money, and you can make your subscription fee for the entire year in one day, right? So no realistic Like it's pretty realistic, and the reset fee is like $99. So if you fail a level or whatever, you can reset. So like let's say you made it to level 2, and you end up messing up, you can reset on level 2 instead of having to start all the way over at level 1, right? How much position size risk for $500 to $1,000? So if you buy one contract at a time, you can make or lose however much you let it go to. So it's basically infinite, right? But if you, with NQ, and this is probably the easier way to explain it, it's infinite potential either way in terms of risk and reward. But every 25 cents that NQ moves, which is what's considered a tick, is $5 for your contract. So if you buy multiple contracts, let's say you buy 5 at one time, right? And it moves $1, right? Which would be 4 ticks, right? Times 5 times 5. That's how much you'd make or lose. So what I like to do is I always start with 1. And if it starts moving against me, but also still respecting my stuff, I'll average down and buy another. And then if it continues, I may average down and buy 2 so that, I had 2, I averaged down and buy 2 more. Now it's in the middle of where I just bought and where it is. And then I can write it down again. And usually about 4 or 5 is my max that I'm ever getting at one time. Just because it moves too much after that. Like a few dollars ends up being several $100s either way, and it's just not, it's just too much risk at that point. So no more than 5, and it has to be like that 5 point needs to be exactly where you think it's going to turn around. So like for me, right earlier, when I got that 4 or 5 area, it was right here, it was right there, and it turned down, and I exited here, right? So I was pretty close with that turn down area. And just this to here ended up being like a couple $100 or $300 or so move that way in the red before I even got my exit. So I was actually pretty scared when it did this, but that gold zone helped me, stay true, because that's what this stuff is for conviction and to help you understand what's going on. So as you can see, this actually bounced off my entry point, and since it didn't go right above, I didn't get it. So what I should have done was I probably should have put it at around 24 instead, which is okay. I can get it here. But yeah, Kimberly, if you can remind me whatever it was that I said, whatever is, please let me know. I wanna clear that up for you. And then you don't use the trade screen on the right of the page. This I might use if I'm looking at other stuff at once. So like if I was trading options in QQQ, I'd be looking at this. But in terms of all this other stuff, I'm good. Especially right now, right? Because the only thing that I'm trading is NQ, right? So I'm not worried about it. So here I've gotten my entry, 24 or whatever. I might exit with just a couple dollars, just wanted to show y'all. Jesus Christ, can't get my just something like that, just to show y'all how I do it. Normally what I would do is I would probably hold it for around down here. This is starting to scare me though, because this looks like it wants to cross up, and we actually do have this gap to fill back up. So whenever you're not 100% sure, you just accept a couple dollar move, or maybe even $1 move. Take $20, right? Just take $20, and it's better to fight and live another day. So boom, this last trade ended up being $30. Okay, so we got 90, right? Then we have 150. And then we have 400. So we have $550. So now tomorrow, all I need to make is $450. Will I make it? Let's find out. The trade panel on the far right. What do you... Oh, I get what you're saying. You're talking about... Are you talking about this? Or are you talking about... Let me see, because I don't know what's over here that you're talking about. I don't use anything over here. So to answer your question short, if there's anything all the way over here, no, I don't. Or are you talking about this down here? Because I don't use that either. I just right click and press trade, new, and then go to new order, create new order, and then I long or short wherever that area is at that I want. That's how I go about it. Do I have a specific max percent risk? When it comes to futures, it's a little bit... That's a little tough to have unless you're using like your own account balance amount, right? Because for me, I can only lose $2,000 in any day, right? Like I can only go down $2,000 from where I started because I'm doing the funded account, right? So when I do that, right, I can only do so much. So basically what I'll do is like my max risk that I'll usually let a one trade go ever is $1,000, which is half of my entire risk. Because normally by that time I've averaged down and gotten out with a win. And if I can't do it by that point, then I need to just let it go, and I need to just basically continue to make money back the opposite way, make my money. And I've done it before. I've been down $1,000 or $1,500 and made my money back, and then ended the day $500, $600, $750 in the green. And it's just because, you know, I have that hard stop in my mind already, and having that hard stop in my mind makes it really, really easy to basically just be like, you know, like admit defeat, right? Like if you fucked up, you fucked up, man. Like you can't make something go your way, right? And sometimes having a hard stop in your brain helps you with that, and mine is the $1,000 because of the fact that it's half of my entire amount that I can do. And a lot of ways that I'll do something too, let's say I have a trade going in my direction and I actually don't want to cut it because I think that the trend for the day is really strong, and we can use maybe like Thursday for an example, or even Friday, where basically we just continue to trend down, right? We just keep going down, we keep going down, we keep going down. Let's say I bought a short here. What I would do is every time we get X, maybe like, let's say I move up $100, I'll make my trailing stop loss $50 below whatever that spot is. So if we move up $50, then I'm out. But if it continues to go down, then that continues to go move with it, right? So it just basically goes like that. And they follow. So like, then say we pop up here, right? One of these areas, well, I'm out with my gains, and I wrote it all the way down. So that's a way that you can let winners continue to ride. And I do that usually like overnight or really late. Like I might even hop back on here maybe 10 p.m., midnight or something, and show y'all like, hey, if I see a trend, I'm gonna go ahead and hop in and hold it for a while. Like I do a lot of them randomly where, you know, see, look, like this is at 11:30, this is at, you know, what is that, 10 o'clock, right? 1,000 and 1,000, right? This one was sold, and this was my biggest one on here, 3,000, a 3,600 gain, sold at 4 a.m. because of my trailing stop loss. So, you know, just having things in place that you know, like when you're gonna hold something for a while is how you do things, right? And once you learn, and I promise you, once you learn the fibs and how to use the fibs correctly, that's when it's gonna change for you when it comes to trading futures, especially because you're on the 1 minute time frame or less. How many contracts do I trade on a day in average? Well, you know what? Let's take a look at the 15-minute chart since Sunday. I've actually counted them already, so if you didn't count the ones today, since Sunday, which is where you'll see the start of these begin, I've had, so right here, so from here all the way up to before here, I had 65 trades. So in the course of a week, I did 65 trades. But and I'll tell you, normally I am doing like, so give or take maybe 20 trades to 50 trades a day, right? I'll have some days, and I can show you this too, right? I can show you down here where, you know, some days I only have 20 trades, some days I have 23, one day I had 30, another day I had over 30, another day I had over 30. So give or take between 20 and 30 trades a day. What's my technical for the fibs? You're gonna want to screenshot this because I have a video of it, but these are my technicals for the fibs. So if you want, screenshot this real quick, and let me get a little closer for you. There, go ahead and screenshot it. Let me know when you've screenshotted it. Getting tired of holding my phone, so I'm about to put it down. Cool. All right. What about the fees? So if you're gonna trade on your own, if you're gonna do it through, like, say, TD Ameritrade or, you know, Schwab or some shit, right? You're gonna be trading with probably about, like, if you trade, so say round ticket, you know, buy and sell, you're probably giving back around $5 for the whole way. So in order to make it worth it for you, actually it's more like $10. It's $5 both ways, I think. So in order to make it worth it for you as someone who's trading with your own money, each trade needs to be, give or take, around $50 to $100. You need to be making around $50 to $100. And when you lose $50, you're really losing $60, right? You lose $100, you're really losing $110. So keep that in mind, and that's another reason why I recommend using a funded futures account, because all that stuff is already built into, like, what they're showing you on TradingView. It's already built in to what you're seeing in terms of how much money you're making, and, like, the fees are for some reason less because they have deals and stuff like that. So so when you're doing futures, you're going to do the 1 minute, but, like, let's show you, like, let's say you were going to options trade QQQ. I would be on the 15 minute, and I would find a high and a low. So you could pick this high and this low, this high and this low, this high and this low, this high and this low. It doesn't fucking matter. Just pick a high and a low. And if your bias is that you're going to go down, yes, your daily chart, if your bias is that you're going to go down, you draw it from the high to the low, okay? And then you just let it respect your lines, and you enter when it rejects or crosses below a line, and you exit at the next line. Rinse and repeat, okay? If your bias was that you're going to go up, you would go from here. Like, just for an example, we would say this is our low and this is our high right here. You could say this short range, you were able to catch all of this movement up because you used this as a low and this is a high, and you drew it from the low to the high, okay? And so you were able to use all of that to move up, and then when it stopped respecting here, you could then say, okay, now I'm going to draw it from here to here. And now look, you can then catch all that going down, right? So this is on the 15 minute, and this is over several days, right? So this is why it's really neat to use. on a shorter time frame, but not too short. When you use it on too short of a time frame, it ends up getting a little wacky. You end up getting some so it's bad juju basically. So I recommend the lowest is to be your 15-minute, unless you're going to do futures, which then you need to be on your 1 minute just because they move so damn fast. So what shirt I'm working off? But yeah, oh, what chart? Yeah, I'm doing it off the one day, so the daily, 1 minute for futures or the 15-minute blah 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 blah. Do I find futures respect the fibs more so than options? Um, I wouldn't say that they respect it more, but people who trade futures use fibs a lot. So fibs kind of in turn make the market, like the futures are what move the rest of the market for the most part, right? Um, so I don't know how to put it. They Since they move the rest of the market does also respect the fibs, right? Just by easy math, right? But because they respect fibs, so I would say yes, they do respect them more, but not necessarily more so. And yes, I do use the same option on strategies. I just use a higher time frame for options trading, so that I'm not getting stuck trying to trade 0 day options. Because if you're trading 0 day options, you're going to lose your money. Point blank, period. I don't care what you say. You can't convince me. You're going to lose your money. Don't trade 0 day options. Don't trade anything 1 day away. Don't trade anything 3 days away. Trade 7 days or more if possible. What time did it say that made 65 trades? That was the 1 minute. I was doing the 1 minute, but I had a bunch of high probability trades last week where basically I just didn't need to take a bunch of trades. So I only needed to do 65 trades for the entire week in terms of day trading futures. But normally, as I showed you on my top step, it kept track. I'd make between 20 and 30 trades a day in a 24-hour period, or basically from 5 p.m. when it opens to 3 p.m. the next day. And trade 5717, you can find the settings for the fibs in a video on my profile, or you can wait until this video uploads to my YouTube, which the account is going to be Hozkala Trading. And you can go on there and the video will be uploaded here with the date, and you can see them somewhere like maybe 15 minutes ago I shared them. Oh yeah, y'all saw me just click my and then am I liable, Gons, I'm just seeing this again, sorry, am I liable for money lost on the funded account? Since there's a cap, you're not liable. Since there's a cap, you're not liable. That's why it's nice. That's why they stop you at X amount, right? But yeah, how many contracts do I take per trade? So I'm in E-mini. I do one at a time, and then if I need to average down, I will average down up to 5 max. And that's it. If I was going to do the micros, I would do probably upwards to 10 at a time. And I'd probably start off with maybe two contracts, or 2 shorts or 2 longs at a time, if that's how you want to word it. But yeah, so again, I showed y'all literally in 30 minutes. I've been just talking now for the last 30 minutes. But in 30 minutes, we made over $500. We made $550. And I don't know where else you can do that. I do not know where else you can do that. I do not know anyone else showing you how to do that for free like I am. And yeah, my average daily dollar return in the 24 hours or in a session, John. Because a session I consider to be like a night session, like now, like I would trade during the night, and then during the day I'll trade again. Or do you mean like in the 24-hour span, like what it considers a full trading session? 24 hours, $1,000 to $2,000 usually. I usually stop at $1,000 though, so I've been averaging $1,000 a day on each account that I have, on each funded account that I have. So $1,000. So again, and the way that I do that is, if you look at here, this ended up being, sorry, scroll all the way up. If you look from just for the 10-2s, so from here up, 400, 520, 550. That's $500, right? And then basically what'll happen is tomorrow I'll make another $500 and do it again. Like in the morning, I'll make another $500 that ends up being the full 24 hours that it considers at least a 24-hour period, and I'll be good to go. And so I do that on my own account, and then I come on here and I paper trade with you guys to show you that I can do it basically at any time, and consistently continue to do it, so that y'all understand, like, hey, it's doable. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that you have to do at a specific time necessarily. The only time I recommend not trading at all is the very first hour, maybe even the first 2 hours of market open, USA market open. So wherever you live when market opens, I wouldn't trade that first hour or 2 hours, because there's going to be a lot of chop. It's going to be a lot of fake outs. It's going to be a lot of money being lost and made. But if you're not good at this yet, you're going to be the one losing it. So that's what I recommend setting out. And even I'm good at it, and I still sit out until 10:30. My market opens at 8:30. So, be smart with how you're doing it, and you'll be okay. Paper trade for a little bit, paper trade for a couple weeks. Use the stuff that I'm teaching you guys here. Yeah, Apex actually. So I used Apex for a little while. If you see down here, I actually have Rhythmic and Ninja Trader down here. That shit was just so hard to set up, man, that I just canceled my shit. I used it for a little bit. I realized I just simply like TradingView better than Ninja. And so I just continued to use this, and I canceled it. But I was pretty close to getting funded. I do like the fact that Apex only has one step to get funded. But I don't like how they don't have all the same indicators. You can't get like a lot of the different indicators that are on there, that are on here with it. So see, some comments were filtered. Execution is faster in Ninja. I will tell you that. And I do like how Ninja automatically does like it has a special chart in there called a tick chart, which is outstanding for doing futures. So what I did for a little while until my shit finally was done was I actually watched the chart in the tick chart in Ninja Trader, and I would confirm a lot of my biases that I would see here with the tick chart, and it was pretty dope. It was pretty good. How much do I have? So again, remember, I'm using a funded account, so it's not my money, right? Like, I'm sending myself money, but I'm using someone else. Like, this is called Top Step, right? You pay them $100 to $200 a month, depending on what size account. Mine's like $130 or $140. I pay them monthly, and basically I get the ability to use an account that they've put $100,000 in to make money. And what I get is I get 90% of what I make, and they get 10%. And I get to send myself money every 5 days that I trade. I get to send myself 50% of whatever I've made in the last, like whatever my account's at. So one of my accounts has 110, one of my accounts has 106, one of my accounts has another 105,000. And basically what I'll do is every 5 days that I trade on all of them, right, I will send myself 50% of what's in there. So over $100,000, I send myself 50%. Then they take 10%, I get 90. So you can do the math of whatever that'll be for the next week if I made $0, right? Pro. So what I would do, are you saying with TradingView? Pro. I have Pro Plus, but I would recommend doing the Express, because with the Express you can look at the 30-second chart, and I'm about to upgrade mine to that. So just for that simple fact alone, 30 seconds gonna be super dope. I will do a SPY analysis. What if you lose? If you lose, and this is the cool thing, so they make you do with Top Step anyway, they make you do 2 steps, okay? They make you do 2 steps. If you happen to lose on, say you pass step 1 and you lose on step 2, you have to reset. You have to pay $99 or wait until the month is up and you pay your subscription fee again. And basically what happens is you then reset back at $100,000 for that step. If you have to reset after being funded and they give you the $100,000 or whatever, then you go back to step 2 and you just have to pass step 2 and then get refunded again, and that's it. So it's not anything crazy. It's not like you end up owing them a bunch of money or anything like that. BitGet is crypto though. Yeah, I'm not looking at anything. I'm looking at the NASDAQ, bro. Yeah, I'm on the Pro account for now, but I'm getting that premium shortly. So let's look at SPY. And similar to what I showed earlier with QQQ, I actually have had this drawn for quite a long time. So these are levels that I had drawn, like where we would pop down at. And so I actually caught that rejection from that previous high area. I caught that and that back down. And these are areas where we're looking to pop back up at, and as you see, we've rejected. So SPY has potential to drop basically like a fucking rock. I would say basically down to like 330-ish before we see some relief. But we may see some like slight, things like that, but we're looking back down to touch somewhere in here, right? We have a sharp drop to go. I'm actually a little bullish for this first week. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually think that we're going to move up first. And that's just because I think we're going to have a little bit of relief. We might even pop back to touch this area here and then die. But something is telling me people are going to be a little bit bullish this week. Like even right, like take a look at NQ, right? Like we've dropped several times more than to be negative $50 or more, but we keep popping back up. So it's showing me a couple things, is that this drop is kind of being disrespected, but we're also seeing that we're in basically a bear flag. So I need to see a confirmation here first before I really decide anything with this week. I think that we're having another leg down fully, but that's my bias, and I don't want to just tell you my bias. I want to tell you what the market might really try and do, right? Like a lot of times what ends up happening is we get a push up Monday morning, followed by the rest of the day drops. Then Tuesday has a relief, what we call turnaround Tuesday. We have basically a relief day. And then the rest of the week, maybe Wednesday is another relief day, and then the rest of the week is just death. That's kind of how I would view next week. And we'll probably end red, like overall. But that's kind of like what happens. And I know you have to also remember tomorrow Powell and Fed is having an emergency like talk or meeting or something like that. And 99% of the time when they talk or when he says something, the market moves up and then dies. So again, I'm gonna stick with my premonition that Monday we see a pop up and then death. But I think overall we're just gonna see more death. We still have about, and I hate to say it, but the market again still has to go to pre-pandemic highs before I think that we found a low. We're headed way lower, about 20% lower than where we're at now, 20 to 25%. It's going to be pretty bad. Uh, do I have an actual strategy or just use indicators? I mean, I don't know what you think a strategy is built off of, but they're usually built off of indicators and understanding how they work and using them correctly, no? I mean, yeah, I research stuff too. Like I'm playing based off of like news and things of that nature, but overall if you're day trading, you need to know how to use fibs, you need to know how to use your VWAP, you need to understand how volume and stuff works, pressure going up or down, with your squeeze indicators and stuff like that. You need to be aware of those things, especially if you're going to be playing futures, right? Because that's what I'm trying to teach you. If you're playing, a certain stock, right, like that you really want to play, then yeah. Um, so do I use stop loss? Yes, I use stop loss. I kind of explained how I do my future stop loss earlier. In terms of options trading, the way I trade options is very, very tight. I try and only take maybe 5 or 10% wins on my options contracts, and I only will lose up to like 20% maximum. And that's like me being, I really think this is going to turn around. I really think this is going to turn around, and then it doesn't turn around. I'll lose up to 20%. Um, but in terms of how I do it with these move a little bit more, so I'll be a little bit more respectful with my averaging down and stuff like that. Um, let's see. And if I'm trading the fib, can you project the daily move? In a sense, yes. If it continues to respect your fibs throughout the day, then yes, you've obviously predicted the daily move. But a lot of times what will happen is you can predict a short move, then when it stops respecting it, you can then flip it, right? And then get the consolidation. So like say I had this really, really, really tight. Like let's just say I had drawn this extremely tight, right? I drew it for here to here. We started respecting it. Now we're not respecting it, right? Well, I could then say, hey, look, I wanna catch this chop up. Or I could say, okay, well, this is my recent high and this is my recent low. Let me go ahead and play this. Now I can play all this little chop upwards, and then when it stops respecting, which it looks like it's stopping to respect around here, I can then now turn it back around and say, now I wanna play it going down, so let's go ahead and make them bigger and take that high and that low, right? Like just pick a high and a low, right? Pick that high and pick this low. And now this makes sense why it's respecting these lines going down, and now I can play it going down, right? Um, let's see. But within the next, sorry about my son, guys. But within the next 6 months, SPY has an 80% chance of going up. Historically speaking, that's true, right? But that doesn't mean that it can't reach those lows first. It has to. It's gonna hit a lot more. There's a lot more death coming first. Like you have to understand, the housing market is just primed for a crash. Uh, we're in a credit crisis as well. Europe is having basically an energy crisis with Russia right now, with winter coming up. China is having the worst drought in history. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the world is having a lot of different things, going on. Again, this is tradingview.com. Let's see, someone bought 310 puts for December 16th on SPY. I wouldn't doubt it. It makes sense. It makes total sense somebody would do that. And it probably was Pelosi. Shit. Pull up a market psychology part. Hold on. I actually need to plug in my phone unless y'all want to, shit, my phone's hot as fuck. God dang. I might need to actually hop off of here, guys. My phone's about to explode. Been on here for quite a while. What you guys say if I hop back on around 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. tonight? That sound good? I can answer a lot more of your questions. Maybe even trade a little bit more with y'all, give y'all some entries and exits or whatever. Because my phone is really hot. It's like burning my hand now. And yeah, just give y'all a heads up. I'll try and get on. Yeah, I'll try and get on at about 10:30. So it's 6:30 now. So give me a few hours, right? I'll hop on. I'll answer y'all's questions, and yeah. Sound good? I do trade options. Actually, in my Discord group, I am doing a little small account that I'm doing with everybody. Where last week we started with $100, and just to show you, yeah, I'm doing right. Like we've done what we need to do. Blah blah blah. Ended it this week ended it at the week for $255, and that was just securing 5 to 10% every day on the account, right? And that's how we're doing it. So I'm just showing them basically that if you can secure 5 or 10% every day, you can turn a couple $100 into a few $1,000s pretty quickly within a few months. So it's help you guys understand discipline and stuff like that. So blah 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 blah. You'll get your 10K plus as long as you stay consistent with taking little dubs. You can be a happy camper. But yeah, my phone's hot. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. Please, if you guys are interested, go ahead and join back up at 10:30 p.m. and I will see y'all a little later. All right, you have a good one.